A lot of people say, I am like that, or he, she is like that. But there is no such thing written in stone. The truth is that people are only like what they think they can get away with. So it's so nice to finally hear someone make this point. Like I've spent the better part of my life just completely in a state of almost catatonic shock that people can act the way they do and live. It just makes no sense. I can, like, just trying to connect the dots is something that I can spend all of my time and energy thinking about and just never understand. So it's really refreshing to find out that most people are in for much worse than simply death if they carry on the way they are. Like, that makes a lot of sense to me, and it's very refreshing. But what the part that still doesn't make sense is how they get the idea that they can do whatever they want. Like nothing short of full-on torture and genocide seems to be the option. Like, for instance, I mean, I don't understand how she-males, under any circumstances at all, considering how they look themselves, could ever comment on any woman's appearance, like under any circumstances. Like, it just does not add up to me. And like, I don't understand how they could be so shameless about being fine with religions that are more okay with rape, and then, you know, compare themselves favorably to that and like pretend to be sophisticated in any way when there's, you know, I used to have a lot more sympathy for she-males, but now that I understand them better, like, there's only a line in the sand between Middle Eastern she-males and the rest. And, you know, that they do things like say that you should be raped because you're fat, then remind you that you're fat, like, every opportunity for that they can, like, have a hard time talking about anything else. Then if one person you know, doesn't think that that's fine, then they pretend like that's the height of romance, and then they try and use you explaining that it's really not as some kind of blackmail leverage. Like, I just, like, when you see what people think that they can get away with, you hardly believe it. Like, I mean, I know how dumb my country people are, but this is just some next level shit. I mean, it's almost too much. Or, you know, if a handful of people that they want to die, they decide that they have magical powers, and try and make it happen more. They don't consider other possibilities, like maybe it was a signal to let me know who is allowing for this crap. It must be that they're so magic, and then they're not sort of suspicious at all about people who they don't want to die, and they suddenly think that they can get away with anything. Like the amount that people think that they can get away with it's just it's like even worse than what I remember. Like, yeah, and already as it was, like, I mean, it's hard to think of any leader that could possibly be crass enough for such a population. And now, I mean, like, what can even be done with these people? I mean, luckily it's not my job, and the multiverse works on autopilot, and everyone gets circumstances according to their state of being and their past actions. So I'm so grateful to God and the multiverse that I don't have to worry about that. Like, Divine is just so benevolent and merciful, and providing of everything, and I'm just so infinitely grateful for the guidance to become better myself. Like, it's so strange, like, if you interact with a she-male, you're just in like a state of shock that, like, how could anyone be so crass? Like, especially for me, like, I've always been the type of person, like, once I find out someone doesn't have immaculate manners, like, there's nothing to respect or admire or, like, have the slightest bit of interest in ever again. Like, I can barely remember their name. Like, they just basically don't exist for me. And then to be around Divine, where I'm the one who's crass and uncultured, and I can't behave perfectly no matter how hard I try. It's just so rewarding to be in that scenario where I get to try to improve myself and raise myself to some kind of level. I'm just so grateful for Divine. He's just so kind, and it's really nice to learn how to be more responsible to him also, because that is a big part of behaving well.